So in the lab, we're interested in how cells act collectively, how do they coordinate their behaviors, and we study that in the context of two main processes, in both cases during embryonic development. One is how do embryos repair wounds, because they're really good at it, and they do it with no inflammation, no scarring. So the hope is that by understanding what are the fundamental mechanisms of those processes in an embryo, we may then be able to take them to humans, in adults, to improve wound healing. And then the other process where we studied collective cell behavior is the process of heart development. So how does the heart form, which is, again, a situation in development where cells coordinate their movements, and that we use to model collective cell behavior.
I'm working on a project about wound healing, and so it's focusing on how cells are able to work together in order to close a wound in their skin, essentially. So if you were to fall and scrape your knee, you want your body to be able to sense what happened and fix it so that you would never know that the scrape was ever there in the first place. And what I'm particularly looking at are the signaling mechanisms that mediate some of the rearrangements that cells need to do with their connections to each other, to their surroundings, and then also their cytoskeleton, which basically holds them together.
I'm studying the collective migration or movement of a group of cells, but I'm focused specifically on development of the embryonic heart in fruit fly embryos. When any errors do happen, that's when, both in fruit flies and also in humans, that's when you can get congenital heart disease. So it's important for us to know how are these cells coordinating their movements to do to create the heart perfectly, so that you don't get a malfunctioning organ.
So the significance of the work is that a fundamental understanding of how cells coordinate their behaviors eventually may lead to us being able to intervene when collective cell behaviors are disrupted, which is the case in many congenital disorders, and promote those behaviors, or prevent them from happening in situations where collective cell behaviors contribute to the spread of disease, which is the case of cancer metastasis, for example.